Gonna wait for Bilbo to finish drinking water. Hello there, and welcome to another Pearl Perspectives. I'm Anaí, and this is my turn at letting you know how my projects are coming along. So if you are interested in knowing a little bit about what I've got on the needles and generally on the hands, stick around and let's see what's in store. I'm currently knitting away at my little thing, I think it's called, this pattern. In all honesty, it's just a Sophie scarf dupe. I know that, you know that, but still, I did not want to just make another purchase from Petite Knit because I had purchased the Sophie shawl and I thought, I don't need to buy the scarf. But the Simple Thing it's called. This is the Simple Thing pattern. That one was free and the recipe was kind of the same, although the ratio of increases and decreases was a little bit slower. Faster. So that designer has you increasing and decreasing every 4 rows instead of every 8 rows. So I just changed that over here, made it to my desired width, and now I'm working on the length so that I can wrap it around multiple times and finish in a cute little bow at the front. I know that spring is coming, and this has taken me pretty much all winter to work on, which is kind of my MO. Not gonna lie, I have said this before on the pod and I'm gonna say it again. I'm a starter, not a finisher. I like starting things, I like beginnings, I like like discovering a new pattern, casting it on, choosing my colors, etc. But then I kind of lose steam midway through the process or after the initial novelty wears out. I kind of put it down and wait for another one to come along. Sometimes I'll pick them back up and something will be finished, and sometimes I don't, and I think that that is just okay. I attribute a lot of that to, oh sorry, I kicked you. I attribute a lot of that to the fact that I have ADHD, to nobody's surprise. I was diagnosed with it last year, and it all kind of started making sense, as in why I make these kinds of choices, and sometimes I don't want to work on my projects, I want new projects, and so that's what I do. But this one has been a really nice mental reprieve for me in the middle of doing some other stuff, or commuting, or going to my weekly knit night where there's a lot of chatting and a lot of helping other people and a lot of like putting things down and going, socializing. So this is a really good socializer pattern, and I do recommend it. A Simple Thing it's called. I'll put it down below in the not in the comments but in the description for you to check out. My project Pearls are going to be a little different because I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to do during the year, like Ali and Karin do, but I do have a desire to touch back on all of the arts that I like to do, which are mostly textile arts. So today I wanted to show you a little bit of what I've been working on 2 of my additional fiber textile arts that are not exactly knitting and crochet. So first off, we've got 2 new machines in the house and I am so pleased with both of them. I got myself a antique circular sock machine a couple months ago, and it has been such a joy to learn how to use it and to learn about it and how it's constructed. There are some pieces that I'm needing to replace and rediscover, and it's been a real adventure to just figure out how this old machine works. It doesn't have a serial number or a label or anything. The only thing that it has is in the back of the cast iron body of the machine, it says Auto Knitter USA, which is how I can tell that it is an auto knitter, or so I thought. But as it turns out, they didn't start putting serial numbers on these kinds of machines until after the 1930s. So one thing I can be sure of is that this machine that I have is predating 1930. So 100 years old, which is extremely exciting. I don't know if that's exciting to you as well, but to me it's very exciting. And so it also, like, it doesn't really fit the descriptions that I found in the antique manuals, which was very interesting to try to discover. But thankfully there are people out there who put their knowledge on CSM, circular sock machines, up on the internet for free for us enthusiasts to learn. So big shout out to Jamie Mayfield of CSM Supplies, and Karen Ramel of CSM Love, who is here in Canada and has a lot of links to PDFs of the old manuals and a lot of tutorials on her page. You know, redirections to places where you can buy supplies and where you can buy paraphernalia, notions and such. And through Karen Ramel, I learned about David Lord of Chambord CSMs, who is in Quebec and is a machinist, and his specialty is circular sock knitting machines. So they make their own brand of CSMs, Chambord CSMs, but because they have the full production in their home, in their workshop, they can refurbish any kind of machine, and they sell parts, like they sell like custom made parts for all kinds of machines. So I've been really relying on him and Kathy Lord for replacing some of the parts that I needed to replace, like the topper. The yarn holder is on a mast, an iron rod, and it kind of comes out like this, like a little, I don't know, like a triangular kind of iron holder, and that helps you tension your yarn as it's going to be fed through the machine. And so the one that my machine came with was heavily modified, I would say. Like, it wasn't really the same kind as the auto knitter manuals showed. It also was missing some critical spring parts that help tension the yarn and move a piece up and down, and so it was using a little piece of wire instead that was meant to be used for something else as that yarn tensioner. And so it was quite uncomfortable over the first few weeks of me trying to learn how to use this machine to maintain proper tension on the yarn. I'm pretty proud of myself that I made it work just with with the ratchet MacGyver yarn topper that came with this machine. And through that, and talking to Dave and Kathy Lord out in Quebec, I figured out that the body of the machine is an auto knitter, but the rest of it is not. The rest of it is not the original parts of the auto knitter. So that this seems to be a mishmash salad of pieces from other brands. No piece is exactly like siblings with any other. So I've identified that I have a closed V-cam cam shell that seems to be from a Laguerre, but the actual pieces that go up and down to move the needles up and down, the latch hooks up and down, have also been modified, and they don't exist anywhere else. One of them is cracked, so I have to replace most of them, unfortunately. The mast is apparently from an Gerhard, an Erlbacher, I think, or Gerhard, and the ribber is from a completely different machine that I couldn't identify the brand of, but it does not look like any other that I have seen. So let me see if I can show you. This is a ribber. That's a ribber, and it does fit the machine. It does, but the count, the amount of stitches that the ribber makes doesn't quite match with the amount of stitches that the rest of the machine has. So my friend Pete has lovingly nicknamed my machine Krankenstein because it is kind of just pieces of different machines pushed together and like metaphorically sewn together and brought back to life. So I'm just quite happy with what I've got, and just thinking about how much love and time and care went into replacing piece by piece of what was missing or broken in this 100-year-old machine so that it would work, and how it ended up in my house with me, and how much I'm gonna love it and take care of it and make sure that I replace the pieces that are broken or missing. And so Krankenstein is doing a great job at making socks. I'm wearing the socks that you are seeing me make in the video. Hopefully I managed to put the B-roll in there so you can see the yarn that I'm using to make these socks. I am now very confident at making vanilla socks with a hung hem on the machine. So I am very chuffed with it. I'm pleased. I'm happy with it. I'm getting better and more skilled at it, and I continue to practice with it. So you're a little bit far, the camera's up here and the machine's right here, but I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a twirl, a crank, so that you can hear how like really pleasing of a sound it makes when I'm working on it. Eh? Maybe that's not pleasing to you, but it is pleasing to me. And the second machine that I wanted to show you is another one of my hobbies, another one of my textile arts, and that is spinning. I've been spinning for a while now, more than a year, and I started with drop spindle. Then I wanted to try a Turkish spindle, the one that has an X bottom, and you build a turtle around it. Love that. And then I moved on to supported spindles, and I was like, oh, sitting down to spin is such a luxury. I would love to do more of this. So I did a lot of supported spindle spinning last year in November, when Ali and I gave each other a challenge to spin for at least 10 minutes every day in November. So I got real good with that. And then earlier this year, I remembered that I had looked into buying a nano electric eel wheel from Dreaming Robots a few years ago, before I even started drop spindle spinning. And at the time, it was out of stock all the time. So I would check and check and check, and it was always out of stock. Even the big one, like the regular sized eel wheel, was out of stock. And I hadn't thought about it in a long time because, as I have mentioned before, I'm very forgetful. So for no good reason, an electric nano demonstration video came up on my YouTube feed, and I suddenly remember, oh my god, I meant to buy a nano years ago, and I didn't because it was out of stock. But I do have my entertainment and personal development fund savings, which if you don't have one, I highly recommend that you put away like $50 every month or so, or every 2 weeks, or however much is possible for you, so that you can have a little bit of like a a little nest fund to buy things that make you a better or more skilled person, or that bring you entertainment. And so I tapped into that little fund, and I went to Dreaming Robots, and they had it in stock, and it's purple. And so I'm gonna show you the machine right now. It is plugged in. This is the Nano. Is it not fantastic? It is so small. Like, look at the size of my hand. It is so small. I love it. I love it so much. And it has, oh, let me see if I can figure this out. It has a little knob here to spin S twist or Z twist. This is the knob that determines the speed. It came with 6 individual bobbins, so I can fill up 6 bobbins before I have to ply. Or I guess I can fill up 5 and then use the 6th one to ply, or ply by hand if that's what I want. And it came with multiple drive bands and replacements of the drive band, and it is so good. I'm just really happy with it. It was certainly, for me, it was an investment. It was $120 US, which is not that much, but then at the, how do you say aduana? At the border, the border crossing, they applied some duty, and I had to pay an extra $60 there, so it ended up being almost like, it ended up being 200 Canadian dollars, which for a small little machine is not that, is a lot for me. But I want to show you the bottom of it, because if you're crafty in a techie kind of way, you could probably figure this out. Isn't that just super minimal? There's like one little motor, one I don't know what this is called, but like an electronics board. So small, so tiny, and that's it. The rest is 3D printed in this gorgeous eggplant color. I don't have fluff attached to it, so I'm gonna turn it on just so that you can see it spin. Isn't that lovely? So I've been setting this down on the table or at my desk, and I can spin around with it, and it's just so nice. Look at that. It's also very quiet. I can barely hear it. But it's quite powerful. You're also, if you're anything like me, you might be thinking, well, I'm not delicate enough to hold such a small machine, I'm gonna drop it. But you won't, because it has these little like holes, and it came with suction cup feet that you put in the 4 corners. So if you're worried that you might pull it too hard or move it around, or it's gonna be slipping and sliding, you can put the suction cup feet on it and just like attach it securely to the table or whatever surface you're using to spin on, and it will just go and not move away from you, or slide around. So that's my machine. Here's a little footage of me using the machine. I love it. I've been having a lot of fun spinning on my Nano Eel wheel. So I do recommend it if you want to dip your toe into electric electric wheel spinning, but you are not ready to make a big investment for something that's wooden and like heavy duty and holds a lot more wool than this one does, because the bobbins are pretty small, so you probably can only get 2 ounces per bobbin of wool, of spun wool, before the bobbin is full. So if you are looking to sort of dip your toes into spinning, like I said, and you don't mind waiting a couple of weeks for this to ship from the US, then I highly recommend the Dreaming Robots Nano Eel electric wheel. My camera died. So now I have to find my new Nano e-spinner a name, because my CSM has already been lovingly named Frankenstein. No, Crankenstein. But the little Nano wheel doesn't have a name yet. So let me know in the comments what you think I should name this little baby. She is eggplant purple, if that helps, or aubergine. Actually, aubergine is not a bad name. Yeah, she's my little eel. That's just the name of it. I didn't make that up. It's called an eel, electric eel wheel. Maybe I will call it something eel related, like unagi. Do you guys remember that from Friends? Unagi, salmon skin roll. I don't know. So let me know, what do you think I should call it, and maybe I'll pick that, and we'll name my eel wheel something something fun that we've decided together. Other than cranking and spinning, I've been trying to knit away on my little whips. I started something new, which I'm not ready to show you because the first attempt has not been very successful. But it is a skill builder pattern by Sandy Peters called the Lotus Challenge. And Sandy Peters is very well known for their stacked stitch designs, and I wanted to try it because it looks very outlandish to me, and I didn't understand how they were able to put like vertical stacked stitches that also went wavy like this. So I'm trying to discover that. So far I've not been very successful, but it's only my first attempt, so I'm gonna try to continue on that one. It's called the Lotus Challenge, and what a challenge it is. Other than that, I continue to knit on sock whips that I've got going on, and on my Simple Thing scarf. And I think for me that is going to be it today. Next time I see you, I will try to showcase 2 more of my abundant textile arts. You are going to see some cross stitch, some knot binding, you're going to see some embroidery, you're going to see some sewing, you're probably also going to see punch needle, needle felting, and a lot of, well, anything really that my neurodivergent brain decides that I need to focus on. And so, like I mentioned earlier, my objective with my side of Project Purls, this series, is to give some love to all of my textile arts so that I don't forget the skills that I've acquired over the years. So if you're interested in seeing my textile adventures, please subscribe to the channel. Oh, all the YouTubers do this, so I do it too. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and let me know what you think of my 2 new machines, the CSM and the Eel. And I will see you again next week. We've got a live stream going on, like every 2 Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube. So hopefully you'll join us for a little conversation and hang while we're knitting away or making whatever projects we're working on at the time. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Have a great time. Bye.